Not every product I get my hands on ends up featuring in the video. If the cons outweighs the pros, then what's the point? This, however, deserves its own video. This is the Kamrui E2 mini PC. And by mini, I mean really mini. It can almost be covered with a smartphone. It's very similar to the one I featured in my AliExpress best-selling PC video, but with some slight differences. One of which is the brain of the PC. This is powered by the 12th gen N97 Intel chip, which is supposed to be 28% faster than the N100 chip. And of course, Intel strikes back with its weird naming scheme. Anyhow, let's see what it's all about and find out whether it's worth the asking price. Stick around. This mini PC is made by Kamrui. They design their own PCs and have a good number of options to choose from, and the products are reasonably priced. It comes in a box that says mini PC. Excellent. It's good that they managed the expectations because I was expecting a PC tower. Anyhow, this is what you get in the box. All standard stuff, nothing out of the ordinary. The main thing to point out is that of course it comes with its own power supply and it's rated at 30 watts. You have all the ports expected from a mini PC, like Ethernet, HDMI, DisplayPorts, and USB 3.2. It also comes with a switch that when flicked, gives you access to the inside. You have a standard SSD drive and a stick of RAM of 16 GB, upgradable up to 32 GB. It's important to note that there are similar PCs from Kamrui that have the RAM soldered in. They look similar, but they're not the same. Check out the link in the description for the exact product. As for Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, they're a bit outdated with Wi-Fi 5 and Bluetooth 4.1. And this is the only negative thing I can find, as it's unfortunately soldered in and cannot be upgraded. I ended up taking it apart just to see what it's completely made out of and to apply my own thermal paste. It's held in by 5 screws and it's easy to disassemble. This step is unnecessary and not needed, and there's nothing beyond the SSD and RAM that is upgradable. When you hold it for the first time, you get the feeling that it's built well. It's made almost entirely from plastic, but doesn't feel cheap or flimsy in any way. I like the fact that it's a lot thinner than most similar PCs and can fit or tuck in tight spaces. It looks more of a satellite box or a gaming device rather than a full Windows PC. Checking out their website, they also seem to have a great deal of options from both Intel and AMD. Booting up for the first time takes few minutes. It comes preloaded with Windows 11 Pro and zero bloatware. Once you're done with the updates, turning it on takes only few seconds. Not the fastest or even near it, but fast nonetheless. It's snappy and takes mere seconds to turn on and off. Web surfing and spreadsheets work like a charm. I tested the SSD and the scores were as expected, and it's actually what helps this PC stay snappy, along with the boost in the CPU speed with a base clock of 1.2 GHz and a turbo speed of 3.6 GHz. Throughout my testing, this thing has been whisper quiet. You have to put your ear against it to even know if it's on. Even when it's under max load, it manages to stay quiet and you can barely feel any warmth. Graphics-wise, it's not a big jump from the N100. It handles 4K playback almost identically. In other words, it's respectable. Other than a few dropped frames at the beginning, it's stable throughout the rest of the video. So this can be used as a media device in your living room. It can get stuttery though in conjunction with other tasks. If you're running anything in the background, the quality goes down dramatically. I downloaded Steam and tested out few games. I like to use Crash Bandicoot for gaming tests, mainly because everyone knows it and it's not a very demanding game. It did far better than the Firebat PC. I was getting more FPS at a higher resolution. Granted, it's only 700 by 700, but with the Firebat, I was only able to get it to play at 480p. So the claim that it's 28% faster than the N100 chip seems pretty accurate and is even more noticeable when doing day-to-day tasks. I tested few other games and the results were basically dependent on how graphic intensive the game was. Here's some sample footage for you. Power consumption is where it truly shines. The CPU is rated at 12 watts, and under full load, the PC consumes below 25 watts at any given time. For comparison, my desktop tower idles at 60 watts and maxes out at about 350 watts. This means that I can run it 24/7 without worrying about burning through a ton of electricity. If you eventually end up buying one for yourself, you can get an extra boost in performance by maxing out the RAM speed. Head to the BIOS and under the chipset tab, click the memory option. By default, the memory speed is set at 2600 mega transfers. You can crank it up all the way to 3200. It's not a massive jump, but it's a jump nonetheless. The asking price is $220 for the unit I have here. With coupons and discounts, you can get it for as low as $135. That is about $15 more than the Firebat T8, which is one of the best-selling computers on AliExpress. At its lowest configuration, you can get it for around $115, which is a steal and a far better option than similar offerings from GMK Tech and Firebat. So now the question is, who is it for? Well, like I always say, these type of PCs are made for light work, something like schoolwork, media, web surfing, or even light emulators. What makes this different is it's a lot snappier than the N100 versions. For me personally, I use it exclusively to respond to emails, as I'm cautious about malicious links. I have also used them in the past to monitor my stats and kept it running 24/7 as it's extremely power efficient. This is not made to compete with high-end computers. In fact, it's an entry-level computer to achieve basic tasks. And if you judge it with that in mind, it's a really good PC. Most PCs at this category and price point come with a soldered RAM, so it's nice to have room to improve. You can find the link for the product in the description. If you enjoyed this style of voiceover videos, consider checking my voiceover playlist. That's all for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.